And just like that, 2 days later, we are back. That was a wild sound effect. I didn't expect the echo to be that loud. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith, can't stand Keith. Oh, no, it's Keith. Hate Keith, love Keith. Whatever, brother Keith loves you back no matter what. Hope everyone had a good couple days. Boy, things have changed in the last couple days, haven't they? Let's talk about it, right? Let's discuss what we got the thumbnail all about. Let's discuss what the title of this stream is. What is Bitcoin dominance? What am I talking about? What does it matter? Well, good news is we have data. Let's get to it. Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit the like button. It costs nothing here. I'm looking at YouTube right now. There are 20 people watching. 6 people have hit like. Y'all go hit like, man. It costs nothing to hit the like button over here. All right, bro? It's free. It's free to hit the like button. And you know, hey, I'm here for it. If you guys can hit the like button, the more likes we get, the more views this goes out to the rest of the world. The more the rest of the world can see what we're doing and the message that we bring of technical analysis, data, chart reading, no emotions, and going strictly on the chart. Boy, do we have some stuff to explain tonight. So I'm going to try to get through it the best I can. I'll say hey to everyone here in a moment. If you're in the chat, please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have a request for a chart, perhaps drop it down there in the comments. And we might be able to take a chance to get a look at it here. I got several I'm going to go over already. Well, let's just jump right into it, shall we? And we shall. Thank you for watching over on X. Thank you for watching over on Rumble, our alternative viewing platform. We are on YouTube. I don't know how long we'll do YouTube for. Not many people watch. Can I be honest? Not many people watch. We used to get hundreds of viewers for every show. We get around 20 now. And you can say, oh, it's because you've done terribly. Well, I've done pretty well with money-wise, you know. And the charts have been pretty on point. And we were able to go through a lot of stuff and see a lot of stuff really accurately. I guess it speaks to the sentiment and the change of the market more than anything. So we just got to roll with it and deal with it and try to adapt. You know, adapt or die, right? Adapt or die. That's the way it works. So what is Bitcoin dominance? Well, we've talked about what Bitcoin dominance is before. So Bitcoin dominance is a measure of how much money is in Bitcoin aside from all other cryptos. How much is in just Bitcoin? So currently, the total market cap of crypto on August 7th, 2025 at 11:03 is about $3.82 trillion. 60% of that is in just Bitcoin. How much is that, you ask? That's $2.32 trillion in just Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin's total market cap, all right? Now that's excluding what coins are left to be mined, but that's all mathematically factored in already. It's kind of the beauty of Bitcoin, all right? So what does this matter? What does it matter? What are we trying to gather from this? Well, what we've noticed is in previous cycles and in previous different charts all across crypto, not just Bitcoin, but more importantly Bitcoin, is The correlation of Bitcoin dominance to the move with other coins is almost exact, right? As Bitcoin dominance falls, if the price maintains high enough and doesn't fall too far, you're starting to see some of the profits that are being taken from Bitcoin as Bitcoin dominance falls. Profits get taken from Bitcoin, and instead of fleeing the market, those profits get rolled over into altcoins. We can see that because we can look at altcoin dominances, right? The top altcoins have their own dominance charts, and we can see them, which I've got right over here on the right. I kind of highlighted. You can see some of them in green right there, right? Many of them are doing better, right? So money is coming from Bitcoin and going into altcoins. Not only that, but as we continue to go here, it's no big secret that the gains will slow down for Bitcoin in time. That's the way this game works. The higher up the value is, the harder it is to make money on it. It's just the basics of every single investment ever. You know, you could make more money, right? The bigger the investment you take, the more you could make, but that's you putting more money in, not the asset appreciating. All right. So Bitcoin dominance is very important to follow. We need this to fail in order for us to have an altcoin season of any substance. Well, we've had a little bit here and there so far, but really it's only been a few coins in a few months and then it was gone, right? Very atypical for what we've had in other previous bull runs. So what can we attribute to that? Well, there's a bunch of different things you could try to get it, this, that, the other, doesn't matter. I'm going to stick to the charts and show you what I think. So as Bitcoin dominance has dropped here over the last couple of weeks, altcoins have either perked up a little bit or really started to move. Some dinosaur coins like Bitcoin Cash, which are older coins, right? Ethereum Classic, that one held up really well. People completely forgot about those assets, but they're still doing pretty well. Binance Coin. Some of the newer assets are really, really on the struggle bus, and people thought they would do better, right? Good news is we can read this and see what's going on. Let's get into that. So here's Bitcoin dominance on a daily chart, and I'm going to scroll all the way back to all the way down here in November of 2022. Since November of 2022, we've been on a steady incline, a steady run up of Bitcoin dominance, refusing to give up. Now, this trend line is going to be subjective. That's not the point. What I want you to see is, I think, by the way I drew this trend line here, touching at this point, touching up here at these points, excluding this one little drop that we had right in here, which was right at the end of the year when that last big spike in alts happened, right? That's the last time we fell into this trend line. And we move it all the way out to where we are at right now. You see us back testing the uptrend line. This was if we were going short on a chart and we were thinking we were going to bet against something. Let's say Bitcoin dominance was a coin that you could buy and you wanted to bet against it. This would be a perfect short opportunity. You got a perfect back test of the uptrend line. Add in the fact that we have a short-term downtrend line right here. You guys see that? Very, very simple to see. We had some highs and then lows, and now we've got lower highs. And are we going to make a lower low down there? Well, that would be just lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be the first time we made a lower low in quite a while. Add in the fact that if you look at support and resistance, which is a very basic of charts, we had support all through here, back here at the beginning of 2025. You can see right through here, we ran up and back tested this support very nicely before we made another move up. Perfect. Guess what? Now we are back testing the underside of support. That makes it, you guessed it, resistance. Now it's not so great looking. Cool. What about any other support? Well, this is the tricky bit right here, okay? I'm going to scroll back a bit, and I want you to see this orange line go all the way back, all the way till 2020. This orange line back here was support back when the last bull run really, really kicked off and the last alt season really, really started. You see that? This support line was the exact same support line. And sure enough, right now, she's still holding firm and still holding support. All right? Until, this is great, by the way, that we failed the green line. It's great that we're in a downtrend. It's great that we've got underneath resistance. But until we fail this support line, it is still shaky grounds here for altcoins. They are perking up and they are looking better. But please be aware, this thing could still turn really ugly on you really fast. Bitcoin dominance could turn right back up and start soaking all the money from the market, and the altcoins won't get the money that they need. In case you don't understand how that rotation works, new money The first thing they do, I talk about this a lot, but I want you to think about if you were a new investor. I've talked to people all across the world about crypto face to face, whether that be in China, whether that be in Mexico, whether that be in Hawaii, whether that be in New York, Canada. I've talked to people about crypto all over the world. The first thing they say to me is, oh, do you mean Bitcoin or whatever? They don't ask me about Cardano. They don't ask me about XRP. They don't ask me about HBAR. They don't ask me about Ethereum. They don't ask me about Binance Coin. They don't ask me about Solana. Sometimes, very rarely do they ask about an altcoin that you all love and cherish. Usually it's Bitcoin or whatever, okay? Please understand that new money is going there first. That's just the way it is. Now, the exception, some new money will go elsewhere, but most of it's going to go in either Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's just how it is, folks. Now, yes, there are more options, and those options will continue to increase over time, but right now, it is what it is, all right? New money is coming into Bitcoin and Ethereum first. After they make money on that, I want you to go through the psychology of the way a human works. You make money on something and something goes well. What do? You tend to do it again. So you go, do I put more money in Bitcoin? Or, Coinbase has all these other coins. Let me do a quick Google search. And then you start Googling, XRP and Solana and Binance Coin, all the other ones, AVAX. You start, oh man, let me look at this, Chainlink. Then you might put money in those. The market is the exact same way. All right. It's the exact same way. It's going to go Bitcoin down. Once Bitcoin starts to fail, all that money will roll into something else. And you can pretty much start right there at the top with the top 10 coins and then go to the top 25, then the top 50, top 100, top 250, and start to see that rotation now. Does that mean it's the only way it's going to work? No, it doesn't mean it's the only way it's going to work. It's just the most likely reasoning. All right. And that's why I'm saying it. All right. Usually, Occam's razor, folks, the simplest answer is usually the correct one. All right. So I want you to bear in mind while we do all this that this isn't me speaking and hopium. This is just me spitting the facts to you. This is how money rotates. And it's no different in TradeFi. TradeFi goes from bonds, which is very safe, into less risk, which is, a blue chip. And then after they make money on bonds, they make money on less risk blue chips. Then they start trickling down to other stuff. And they're willing to take a little bit more risk here and there. And then after they win at that, they're willing to take their money and put it in an IPO. An IPO is an initial purchase offering. That's a big risk for someone, all right? That's the same thing that we're doing in crypto, only with Bitcoin and altcoins. Make sense? I hope it makes sense. Sweet. So I'm going to add in some more TA stuff here. All right, you've seen the trend lines. Great. I kind of explained them to you. Great. All right, we get it. I can erase some of them. You don't need to see that. You already know there's resistance there. I'm going to leave these two because I think these two are the most important ones. All right, if we look at the RSI went super oversold down here and hasn't super recovered since. It came back to the median area right at about 50 on the RSI. You're still kind of pointing downward here. You don't really have any confirmation that we're going to take another dig down. This is why I say be careful. This thing could, after going that oversold, hang out here and jog a little bit, okay? Very well possible. And that may suck money back out of altcoins. Pause. Couldn't find the button there for a second. It may pull money back out of the market for a little bit. That's just the game, all right? You got to understand that altcoins have been really, really struggling because of this. Now look at this MACD. This MACD failed miserably hard. This is moving average, convergence, divergence, right? Big screaming failure down. You had a lot of divergence right here, which is separation between the two lines, right? That shows us that we're likely to reverse. Sure enough, it did reverse. Nice. Our volume that came in on Bitcoin dominance tapered off very aggressively. It was good. It already started to roll back. Anything under the midline right there, A-OK. It looks like it wants to point down and jog. That would be the most optimal scenario for us, is if Bitcoin dominance failed here and kind of jogged. Right now, we're at 60% of the market cap for all of crypto. I expected to kind of hang on here a little bit, and here's why. I'm going to flip to weekly. I like the bearish engulfing that we've got on the weekly. That's great. Note that it's still over support. It's still playing with the R1 pivot line right here, right? It could potentially hang on to that. If I pull the cloud up, it's still got weekly cloud support. You can see it right there. If I pull up the 821 and everything to go with it, Bitcoin dominance is sitting on the 50 moving average. It is known to bounce this 50 moving average over and over like it did just back here in November the same way, all right? So this market can still grab us and trick us here. and pull us back into the depths of the dark ocean. And I don't want that to happen, everybody. I want you to be careful, all right? I've had to really strict up on my buys and sells because things have gotten really gnarly lately. Every time they look good, they kind of pull them back out from underneath us and hit us with the gotcha, bitch kind of moment, right? We can't do anything about it. I'll get to everyone and say hey in a second, and I'll kind of explain it a little bit more. So, from a TA perspective, here's the moving averages, right? You're all underneath all the moving averages. This is still bearish, even if it comes up some. That's why that move up right there, coming to the 200 moving average, was nothing more than a bearish retest. I know it broke the 821, but you're underneath everything else. And if you're doing a confluence type system, which is what I like, I don't like using just one indicator, which is what one of the haters kept saying the other day. You're not using this one indicator. That's great. I try to use a confluence. I do have favorites, but I try to use a confluence, right? It's underneath everything. And as long as it's underneath everything and continues to back test those, much ado about nothing, I'll leave her be and let her continue to try, but continue to fail. So here's the formula. If Bitcoin dominance goes down and Bitcoin's price stays up, this is good for altcoins. Why? Because that's dominance coming out of the market, going into altcoins, but Bitcoin's price is staying up because retail keeps it up. New money keeps Bitcoin's price up, while old money takes profits and buys something else. That something else is all other altcoins, including Ethereum. Now, obviously, some very, very wealthy people, which you might think you're not, but if you're here watching, you're more wealthy than most people, all right? So you're more likely to buy Ethereum than someone else, especially someone on the street that's new, especially someone in a retirement company who just runs 401ks for people, especially a 60-year-old elderly man who doesn't exactly understand what he's doing. He's more likely to pass it off to a financial advisor and have them deal with it than he is to go buy it. And those financial advisors now have the access since 401ks are allowed to own crypto. Now, that's going to be a hot mess, and we all know that. But for now, it's advantageous to us. So let's take the most of it, okay? Let's take the most of it. All that said, let's go look at the Bitcoin chart, shall we? Bitcoin index. All right. After that ugly couple days, we had this really, really crappy consolidation. Told everyone on Tuesday, I said, look, man, I'm going to wait until Tuesday's over and Thursday's live stream comes because I think we'll have a better feel for what the market will do come Thursday. Ta-da! That's exactly what happened. Thursday comes and things change a little bit. We get another wonky Wednesday like we've gotten over and over again. Finally, we get a good Thursday, pushes us back up over the 821. But I want to caution you a little bit, okay? Let's not get all the way into our feelings. Let's note something here. This is our previous high, and we are still at a lower high. I like the fact that we made a higher low. Don't get me twisted here, okay? I like the fact that we made higher lows right there, right? Low, higher low. What do we need to see to change everything here? Well, I'd like to see us get up to about 125. Why is that? Because at 125, which is up here near this green box, $18 billion worth of shorts are liquidated. $18 billion worth of shorts are liquidated if we get back up there to about 125. Now, obviously, we got highs over here at 120. You're going to wipe a lot of shorts at 120, which would be, put a line right here. That line right there, that red dotted line, get above that or just throw a wick up there and you're going to liquidate a lot of people. You're really going to burn people's ass right there. And that's needed, right? We have to wipe the shorts off the book to let the longs come in and continue to show power. If they can't wipe shorts off the book, then they can't show power. They can't load the order book up behind the longs, and everyone can't jump in behind and ride the wave up, okay? It's kind of the momentum that we have to maintain. Good news is it still continues to maintain. I'd like to see a new high. We don't have that just yet, right? Let's make a new high. It's close. It jumped the 821. These things don't happen overnight, and that was a great candle yesterday. I mean, that's one of the best candles we've had since middle of July, right, while I was on vacation. It's been 2 weeks since we had a candle that looked that good, and then a couple days before that was pretty darn good as well. So I still think if we pull some fibs on this, you'll see from our previous high to our new low right here. Here's our previous high. Here's our new low. This is Fibonacci retracement, by the way. This is just mathematical support and resistance lines throughout the chart. and mathematical predetermined stop and go points throughout the chart that we've learned matter a ton. Fibonacci math is not just a theory, it's a rule. All right. So good news, we made that move up. Bad news, we're still hitting the 50 fib right here and haven't gotten across it. That's our continuation fib. And you can kind of see that all these other candles are on the good side of it. And we're still technically on the bottom side of it. Not the end of the world, but I'd like to see it improve past that. If it can get past that and get up here to the golden pocket, still a rejection opportunity because this is still a resistance zone through here. Anything over that resistance zone, like I said, 120 right here, hey, that's up in the sniper's alley, and that liquidates a ton of shorts. Plus, would get us back over top of support and set up another move later on. It's my belief, it's kind of, that's a nice reversal candle. That was a great short indicator. Yeah, this one right here, this long tail on the top of this one, I agree. That was bearish sell pressure. And I managed to sell a lot through that right there. I got a good bit of profits out of this. I'm pretty tickled about it. You know what I mean? I was able to move that money around. Now that sucks that some of them that I sold and got profits on have jumped back up, but whatever, I'll buy a different one. I've told y'all that before. More so what I want to get at here is this green box up here above the 1272, 1414, 1618. This is my next stopping point where I think price is going to go up to and slow down again. I think we're going to get a great move here. Not necessarily right now, but from now through September here, I think this is going to run us up here to this 125 to 130 area. All right. Why is that important? Well, here's the weekly chart. And you guys can tell I didn't even touch this until I came in here. And I do this all kind of organically. You guys can't see it on your end because you're not here in the office with me. But what I do is I don't come in here until right before the stream starts. And I do that because I want this to hit me fresh. I don't want to sit in here and study this and then come up with this BS narrative that doesn't make sense. I want to come in here and be fresh and honest with everybody. That's exactly what you're seeing right now. I didn't touch TradingView. I left it unopened before I came in here. So we have cycles here. Let me drop the camera. All right, here's 2016 on the left, 2020 on the right, and currently now we're still over the 8 EMA. I've got this price marker at 128.469 and 175.403. Call it 130 and 175. Fair enough. Now that's a perfect numbers right there, but in that general area, general numbers there are what I'm looking for. All right. I still over the 8 EMA. We still got a powerful look here. Any more buy volume that comes in is going to send us up to this next fib line. That's the 1414. You see it right there. That 1414 is yet another take profit line. And then we have another one all the way up there at the 1.618. It could sprint to that area, but I kind of doubt it. I don't think it's going to sprint. I think it'll be more of a pull and a long kind of drawn out sort of thing. It's going to take till the end of the year, in my opinion. That doesn't mean it necessarily will, but I think in my opinion, it's going to drag out until the end of the year before we get our all the way up their highs. Now, if it's a blow off top, which I'm about to go over here, if it's a blow off top, which I don't expect, but if we got that, we can go even higher than that. I don't want to get on the hopium train though. So 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024, you can see them all side by side right there. Can't mistake what you've got right here. I would love to hear people argue and tell me that this is wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about. But the bottom line is this is about as accurate as it gets. Let's move these all to August, and August. You can see the white arrows that are pointing down and kind of show you here. This is where we were in 2012. This is where we were in 2016. This is where we were in 2020. And here's where we are now. You can see all the 1272, 1414, and 1618 right here. 1272, 1414, 1618. You can see that we've always hit this area every single Bitcoin cycle, with the only exception being last time during the pandemic. All right. Note that I've got a lock emoji up here on this 1.618 fib that you can barely see right there, but that's never been missed also. And that's at about 175. That's why I've got this chart looking like I do. That's the exact same level right there on the monthly that you're seeing right here where the lock symbol is, okay? It's the same level, if you see that right there. That little green circle, that's November where I have it highlighted. That's where I think we go, all right? So as long as we stay above this parabola, as long as we chop through here, we have a chance to blow the top off, because as you can see over here, we went to the 2 and the 2.272 fib, 2, 2.272. Didn't make it here in 2020. I do not expect us to make it in 2025. We'll see, right? I don't expect that. I expect 130 to 175. That's my number where I go, hey, man, we're cooking with fire now. We're cooking with grease. We're getting there where we want to go. We finally got over the hump. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to everybody. I don't want you to think I'm up here just spitballing. Everything I'm saying is data-based, and I'm trying to give you a 100% data-based approach, right? We got almost 250 people watching already. That's awesome. Shout out to everybody. Let me go say hey to everybody. Shall we? And we shall. Shout out to, what's up, Cheese? Good to see you, brother. What's up, cousin Jeremy? Crypto Sunrise X, at Crypto Sunrise X. Y'all go give him a follow. I got to sneeze. Maybe one more, maybe not. At Crypto Sunrise X, we'll give him a follow. At Killer Smile, that's not his handle, but Killer Smile's right here in the chat. Go give him a follow. At Crypto Trauma, that's my cousin. Shout him out. He says Litecoin. All right, you look at Litecoin. All right, over on YouTube, we've got shout out Crypto Elephant. Good to see you, brother. You were first. Vintage Pennies. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Texas Plates. What's up, brother? Good to see you. When Mullet said, who is that idiot that said Bitcoin bounced off the 50 last week? Oh, that was me. Great call. He said, yo, let's go. Phonetic Duck. Good to see you. Sir Sigma. Miss Ariana. How you guys doing? The Remnant. By the way, Sir Sigma's big into stocks and equities. He's all the time over in the stocks and equities section over in the Discord. He shares a ton of stuff. I share a ton of stuff. I go through the Magnificent Seven and crypto-related stocks constantly. He's constantly talking about options, calls, puts, everything over there. You guys are missing out if you're not hanging out and part of the Discord, brother. We got everything over there. Stocks, bonds, equities, Forex, all of it. Crypto. The Remnant. Good to see you, brother. Raleigh, North Carolina. Shout out, dude. Let's go. Bull City. E. Phillips. Good to see you. Oyanai Ideayi. I can't say that right. I screwed that up and I'm sorry. I'm going to call you Oye. All right. Good to see you, Oye. I'm Nigeria, bro. We're coming from Nigeria. You don't understand that one. That's you coming to America or coming to Nigeria. Gimme Zale. Good to see you, brother. Crew Chief, what's up? Nick Ariano. Could dominance go down and price go up? Absolutely. That's exactly what we need to have an alt season. But Mullet answered that for you. What's up, DRO? Good to see you, brother. Been sharing a lot of charts in the Discord. I super appreciate it, dude. He was big on MNT and a couple other ones that really popped off. What's up, Josh Udall? Good to see you, brother. The nice reversal candle was a great start. Yep, correct on that one. That was that candle over here. By the way, you guys, if you don't understand how this works, we have a chat box here, and every message that you guys type pops up on the screen right here, and they're all in here. So jump in and give us a message, man. Say hey. Dean Martin didn't rehearse. Allen Iverson didn't practice. The professor doesn't look at charts before he teaches. That's pretty funny. What's up, Stiff, brother? Stifler, good to see you. That's no Mad Hitch. Panda, how you doing? Cooking with Grease, you know what's up. Danny D Pockets, good to see you, Danny D Pockets. Haven't seen you in a minute. All right, so and that's X. If you're over on Rumble, I don't have Rumble pulled up. Shout out to everybody over on Rumble, alternative viewing platform. I love Rumble. I post all of our weekly roundups, all of the other stuff that you guys don't ever see because I don't put it on social media. I put that stuff on Rumble for those people to see. If you guys aren't checking it out on Rumble, you should. It's at CarolinaKeith_1. We're on X, Rumble, and YouTube right now, streaming to 3 different platforms all across the world live. All right, sweet. So I did Bitcoin. Let's go look at Ethereum real quick because hell yeah, dude, did Ethereum have a day. Look at that. After breaking a new high yesterday, she's already green again. We have exactly what I wanted to see on Bitcoin already has happened on Ethereum. Do you understand this, folks? This is an altcoin outperforming Bitcoin, and it's the number 2 crypto outperforming Bitcoin now. Very important. Things are slowly turning in our favor here, all right? We have a new high. That's excellent. Where is this likely to go? Well, let's pull the fib on it and find out. All right, so if I pull from this current high, last high, to the current low, okay, from the bottom down, I'm looking for reversal numbers here, and that's what Fibonacci retracement gives me. It gives me reversal stop and start numbers. All right, we have one right here at about 4,125. That's going to be our first level. Next one will be 4,200, and the one after that be 4,300. If things get really wild, 4,500. And if we step back on the weekly here and look at this zoomed out, from a moon perspective all the way out on the, I'm not, you know what? Take that back. Take that back. Don't use the word moon. How about from a 5,000 feet back perspective? They're right there, almost a mile back. Really, really, really like the weekly chart here. A bullish engulfing off of Sniper's Alley. That's magnificent looking. That's exactly what I want to see. We got a chance to take a new high right here. If we can get over that 4,100, look at this barrier right here. This 4,100 barrier has been an absolute bulldog. We break this barrier, we're going to 5,000 to 8,000. All right, look at that. 5,000 to 8,000 will be my end goal here for Ethereum. It's going to take a minute. It won't be immediate. It's going to take a little bit to play out, but I bet you these numbers get up there sooner rather than later. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen in a hurry. Might take a little bit. All right. 5,000 to 8,000, fully possible by the end of the year. Obviously, we'll be able to hone it in a little bit tighter as we go, but I think things have finally changed for Ethereum. Look at this big monster uptrend, dude. Look, that's off to the races, bro. She's good as can be. Can't complain about it even a little bit. LTC. Litecoin. All right, check this out. So Litecoin has its own little fractal, in case you guys kind of didn't know this, but it's got its own halving and has its own stuff that it kind of does. Good news is it's kind of doing its thing like it did back in the day. You had the halfway point end of bull with that pink line in the middle, and you can see the sprint that it took. All right, halfway point, top line, kind of pink in the middle right here. Pause.
Pause.
As you see, we're sprinting up. Now, I want to warn you, we are running into some resistance right here at the 50 fib. That's going to be a bulldog just like it was back here. I do think we'll get through it eventually, and that leads us to $170 to $200 over here near the golden pocket. I think that's our next waypoint or stopping point. From there, we'll reassess. It's gotten hung up here before, so I'm not going to bet on it to go too much farther than that area right there, but I do think we're going to get up there in time. I think it's only a matter of days and or weeks before it gets up there. It's done really, really, really well so far. About to hit 4K. Hell yeah, brother. We're getting there with Ethereum, dude. I'm super tickled about this. Let me get something to drink. By the way, I got cherry sundrop tonight. No alcohol yet. I want to see some new highs for altcoins on the local times, local charts like daily. I want to see some new highs, and we'll break out the whiskey again. All right. But not until then. I want to see some highs. Once we get some highs, I'll change my tone. All right, so how about Chainlink? Can we use Coinbase? No, that's the wife's chart. Let's use Binance. Perfect. Perfect. Chainlink. Look at this weekly bullish engulfing that we've got here. Now, let me take a moment to say, where's the chat box button? Did I push the wrong one? Oh, there it is. Well, let me take a moment to say, for the haters who said, oh, he's not doing what he says he's doing. Blah, blah, blah. I sold and took a bunch of profits, and I was able to rebuy lower, buy more link here, and now my price is even better than it was before. I've got more money in it, and we've got a weekly bullish engulfing and a very bright future here, all right? So for the people who didn't understand, I had a shit ton of stables sitting around the last few couple days, waiting and waiting and waiting, ready to buy. Oh my gosh, what can I buy? I'm waiting. I got itchy trigger fingers over here, ready to go. Finally, we've got a good look. I managed to add to this one, almost doubled my position size. Very ready for this to go. If I didn't have any stables to take and I didn't sell stuff, then you wouldn't be able to say stuff like that because obviously you don't know what you're talking about. I hate spreadsheets. I have one for everybody to see. And everybody knows I hate the spreadsheet. I don't even like looking at it. But I do post every buy and sell that I do over in Discord for everyone to see right as soon as I do it, so there's no mistaking it and no twisting it around, okay? Everyone already knows that I had already sold and took profits on stuff. Everybody knows that I already started to rebuy stuff. I'm in it to win it. I hope you guys are too. All right, so back to Chainlink on the weekly. Beautiful setup here. Now, I want to warn you. We haven't gotten through the mud yet. We have some levels up here that are going to slow us down, all right? $24 and $30 are going to be a bulldog. I love the bullish engulfing. I love the fact that it's coming off all those moving averages right there. It's a very, very nice look on the weekly. On the daily, right, after what was a very, very wonky, ugly Wednesday, once again, we immediately snapped bullish engulfed right back over. Sorry, wonky Wednesday. Wonky Tuesday. We got a red Tuesday, and that sucked. But after that red Tuesday, all it did was come down and back test these moving averages that were all bundled up. If you remember multiple streams ago, gosh, it's probably a week and a half ago. Not a week and a half ago, a month and a half ago. S-Fund, I got you. Month and a half ago, I said, hey, if we can see these charts, jump these moving averages and get on top and sit on top, that's a bullish move. That's exactly what's happened. How did I know it was going to happen? Magic. I'm sorry. Magic. It's not magic, it's technical analysis. All right, so anyway, we bounced the moving averages. Really, really, really good day yesterday. Very excited about this. Where are we going to go from here? Well, if we can make a new high, and I think we're going to at least work on making a new higher. We're in Sniper's Alley right now. I want you to be careful. The Sniper's Alley tends to be a cut your head off kind of situation. We're going to have to get over that. We're not overbought. Look, we got plenty of room to go up here on the RSI. MACD is only just now about to turn green. That leaves us more room to move up, folks. Pivot points, look, we've got room to R1 up here. It's in the middle of Sniper's Alley. That's probably going to play a little bit of havoc. But above that, R3 is all the way up here at 1618 at that same $24 level that I said would be a little bit of a pain. I do think we're going to get up here. I think it's going to make it up there to $20 to $24 in the near future. Very good looking chart. Fibs show it. Rest of the RSI, MACD, all show it. You're about to get a golden cross right here. Look, man. There are times when things look bad, and there are times when things turn the corner and look good. Chainlink is one of those that have turned the corner and look good. I'm here for it. I'm in it. How about you guys? Alts get high before the proof. Yeah, before the professor. That's right. All right, so that's Chainlink. H-bar was when I said I would look at. And then we'll get to XRP and stuff here in a second. Why? Because it's demanded that I look at it. You have no idea. Fellas, you know what? I'll say this. I'm glad that the DMs have slowed down a lot because most of the time now people who DM me are just scammers, right? So I'm glad that it slowed down a lot. But still, the number one requested thing is XRP to look at. It's wild. It doesn't matter what happens. It's crazy how hard people are in love with it. Brother, that's an evil blonde with blue eyes that'll burn you up and down if you don't let it go sometimes. You know what I mean? You just got to be careful about it. XRP is Sydney Sweeney. You want it, but you can't have it. You know what I mean? You bought some, but you can't afford it. So be careful. All right, H-bar. I've kind of drawn a couple things here. That green box that you see right there is our previous level resistance. If I back out a little bit here, you'll see. Let me start on the weekly, as a matter of fact. I think that's probably the better thing to do here. Starting on the weekly, look, we got our 100, 200 moving average cross. That's nice. We broke out. I can erase this trend line. We don't need it now. We broke out. We have a very, very sharp uptrend going on the weekly. This resistance box was something I thought would already happen, and that's exactly what did happen. Good news here is we've got more upside. All we got to do is turn the corner. All right, so if I pull this down and I pull fibs out over kind of this way a little bit. By the way, YouTube's lagging a little bit. Sorry, fellas. Give it a second. I can see it over here. It's popping up little reminders to me. We're dead into Sniper's Alley right here, and that's that box that I had drawn. Right, it's already got its head chopped off this level one time. It could very well get its head chopped off another time, so be careful, all right? Upper levels up here around $1 are what I expect from H-bar. A 4X, 3X from now would be pretty darn good, wouldn't it? I mean, that's pretty good. That's a lot of money coming into crypto. Now, it depends. It could go higher than that. We could push up farther and get to that $2.50 range. But I think $1 is a little bit more realistic, you know, honestly. And if we go to a more local section of the chart here, I'll erase these big fibs for you. I'll go down a little bit lower from the top to the bottom. Why? Because this was a downtrend, and I want to see how far it's going to fail, and it's going to fail upwards. All right, so now that it's failing upwards, we're heading back towards Sniper's Alley. That's about 30 to 35 cents. That's my next area of contention where I think it's probably going to get hung up. Then you've got 55 to 85 cents, and this should happen by the end of the year, right? It could happen sooner than that. It could happen in the next month. I just don't expect big monthly candles right here. Could be, you know, historically August has been a really good month, and the second year of a bull run. That move to 55 or 83 would be very, very good because that sets up the move toward $1 a little bit later on. All right. And I'll have to wait for it to get there to kind of explain that to you, but we got to go step by step here. I select that dollar range for later. Eventually it's going to get there. All right. Let's get to XRP, shall we? I know everybody wants to look at it. So, all right, here we go. XRP. So I've drawn the arrows a really long time ago. This was I know it's messy because I've added so much to this chart. All right. But as you see right down here, this says go time. And before that, it says buy zone. And I want you to look exactly where that thing reversed from. You're going to say, oh, you drew these in after.
Wrong.
That's not what happened. If you've been watching for a while, you've seen me do this live right here on this live stream where I talked about how this area was probably the bottom. And this is your best opportunity to buy, which was shortly after halving and shortly before the bottom came in. All right. Then you get a last chance area right around here's in your last chance, and then go time. And sure enough, she went. All right. Purple line is halfway done. Sure enough, you slowed down at the halfway mark. Drew out this whole wonky looking shit right here. And sure enough, it's working out exactly like I thought. If you look at the dates, I said optimal longer term take profit zone, not likely. And that was way back when I did this, probably in September, maybe August 2024. All right, then 11/18/24 update, more likely now. 7/12/25, definitely gonna happen now. And once again, yesterday's kind of more proof that this thing's got juice and it's probably gonna keep going. So this 330 level's still a bit of a booger. I understand that, but it's gonna break. And when it does, 439, call it 450 to about $6 is gonna be the key area. Now, the really, really big number right in there is 589, $5.89. Why does that matter? Well, you don't understand it, but that's a big social media thing with XRP. $589 was the number. How about 5.89? Yeah, I know. A little bit more realistic, and you might not want to hear it, but rewind it back a little bit. 589 is more realistic. 589 is basically $6, and $6 is the level I've said for quite a while that I think this thing's going to get to. If it can get to it by the end of the year, we have an opportunity for the beginning of 2026 to maybe have some more gains, but I don't want to go there yet. We'll see. It really just depends on the Fed, whether they're going to cut rates or not. And while we don't like to talk about it, it's important that the Fed be talked about a little bit here. They kind of spur or slow the economy. They're one of the only few things that can actually do it because they're in charge of all the money. So whenever they lower interest rates, something not a lot of people talk about right now, and this is going to be important for XRP because you're starting to see companies allow crypto for use for things. Housing market is very interesting right now. The housing market is stagnated. So you've got home sales flat or down, but prices on homes are at all-time highs. So you've got sales that are flattened down and high prices. Well, why is that? Well, people who haven't sold their houses don't have to sell their houses. Like me, this house that we're in, we got just after the bull run, we got in for 2.8% interest. We're not leaving this house. This house is a great deal for us. It actually saved us money moving from the old house to our new house with a lower interest rate. We got a newer house for cheaper, right? That's the way the interest rates work. That's the way they can kind of help you out. We're not leaving this rate. It would be foolish to let go of a sub 3% interest rate. Interest rates right now are from 6.5% to 7.5%, double what we paid, which adds about 50% more to your mortgage, right? So my mortgage is what it is. Add another 50% to that, me and the wife be scratching our head, right? That's the problem. People with low mortgage rates don't have to sell them, and people with high mortgage rates don't want to buy them. And the only people who are getting new houses right now are the custom homes or patio homes that are being built very rapidly, and that's because they get deals with a big tranche of homes to their lender who then sells the loans off later as subprimes, right? That's the only problem, right? We need the Fed to cut rates so that those interest rates can come down, so those mortgage rates can come down. At the same time, I say all this because XRP is one of the big four. And the big four, I mean Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. Those are the only four on the only four that are on the CME market. The CME market is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange market, right? Those four would be the first four that are allowed to be used for stuff, right? And when the people go to buying houses and they say, I want to use crypto, they could potentially use XRP to do so. That's why all this ties in. I think we need some rate cuts, and when we get rate cuts, we'll see the rest of crypto really respond and XRP head more toward that $6 area. I know that sounds weird, and it sounds stupid that I'm waiting on news, but that's not what I'm waiting on. It's policy. It's not news. That's different. It's policy. When policy goes through, that's all there is to it. We don't control the money, folks. That's one company who does, the Federal Reserve, and they're not a government agency. They're a private company, all right? They control all the money. And until they change, we can't do a whole lot. We can assume. Now, it's also worth noting that Polymarket and many, many other betting markets have interest rate cuts at about 85 to 90% right now for the month of September. Now, we don't have rates changing in August or the beginning of September. Fed doesn't meet again until late September. I think September 25th or 6th is the next Fed meeting. So we got 2 more months to deal with here, but there's going to be no change. The really wild thing is we've seen a jobs revision report just the other day that showed way less jobs than they thought. Trump ended up firing the guy who gave the jobs report because he said that was the second time that data had come in way off, and its only job is to give the data, right? Let you know how important data is, doesn't it, right? So once those Fed rate cuts come in, we should see a shift, and I think that'll be the point where it really pushes us up and gives us our last leg up. That could be the end of the year. That could be going into Q1 of 2026. Please note that that did happen last bull run and the bull run before that, where the first quarter of after the bull run still had some gains in it. That was when Solana really popped off. Terra Luna really popped off before it failed massively. Multiple other altcoins did very, very well after the new year, right? It's important to note there still might be some gains there on the back end. What all other ones did people ask for? I'll get to them right here in a second, so bear with me, folks. I haven't talked much on here anyway. I did Bitcoin, I did XRP, I did Link, I did HBAR, XLM, DAG, and ADA, plus the 2 comp. Okay, I'll get there. XLM. I actually almost bought this, decided not to because there was better gains in something else, so I put the money somewhere else. But, hey man, I can't deny the chart. So I've done the exact same fibs already on this because I was looking at this myself before the stream earlier today. We have a section in our Discord just for XLM. All right, so beautiful look here. Not only did you break trend, but you also got an 821 cross at the same time. Big Thursday pushed us up through. We're working on Friday's candle right now. No, it's 11:46 East Coast, and over on the West Coast, it's only 8:46, but it's already on the Friday candle. All right, so good. I like this move so far. Very, very healthy push up. Fibs point us toward the 1272, the 1414, and the 1618, which just so happened to line up with Sniper's Alley up here. So be careful with that. Also note that this Sniper's Alley, the little short one, and the big Sniper's Alley kind of line up right here, and that's 50 cents to 88 cents. So that would be my first 3 levels, 50 to 88, 50, 75, 88, right? I'm sorry, I said that wrong. 50 cents to 55 cents. There you go. I'm sorry, 50 to 55. That's my first area of contention. I think we're going to have some hiccups along the road. It won't just be straight up. So that first little Sniper's Alley and then the bigger Sniper's Alley that you see right here, right? That's going to cause a little bit of a headache. It already did back here. Look, that thing stopped dead on Sniper's Alley before. It's probably going to do that again, right? It's fair to estimate that it'll do it again. Hopefully it doesn't. As long as we stay above this green line right here, 50 to 65 cents is our stopping point for me. That would be my take profit lines if I was in this. And I would set a stop loss somewhere down here about 38 cents for now at our previous low. I'm going to be bumping all my stop losses up if we get another couple good days. I think we may get another couple good days. My cousin said, F Jerome, pal, bro. I know exactly. Got about 300 people watching over on X. That's open. That's awesome. Got about 400 people watching total. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all coming through. Step it out on weekly here. All right. We already seen the breakout. We can erase that red line. We already know we have an uptrend in the green line right there. I'll take that off. We don't need it. So very, very healthy few weeks here for XLM. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks out of here have really shifted this entire chart. You know, me and Mullet back in the day talked about this, but there was really only about 6 months of time worth holding anything. And that's played out yet again, hasn't it? So 50 cents is going to be contention, 50 to 56, 65 cents on the top side of that. If we get above Sniper's Alley and we get above this 50 to 55 cent range up here, that opens up the door for 87 cents to $1. Boy, wouldn't that be a healthy move. 65 cents would check the previous all-time high. Getting above that opens up 87 cents to $1. That is just over 100% gains. So 100% back to 120% back to $1, and then about 184% to the 1618. I think that's fully possible, and we may get more than that, but I think that's a fair estimate to start with now. ADA. Cardano. This is a messy one. Let me find another one. Binance. It's usually the better way to go. All right, so here's ADA. All right, so for Cardano here, man, that was terrible.
Damn.
I know. So good news here, we're over all the moving averages. I love this. We were in a really bad spot. This thing actually failed south here. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. We got a messy chart here. I'm thinking we're good there. We could see the 200 moving average right there, the 50 moving average right there, the 100 moving average right there. We're over all of these. And what happened on Tuesday and Monday, all that bearishness just sat right back on top of support and gives us an opportunity to kick up and break out on the weekly. Beautiful, beautiful look. As you see here, sweeping up off the daily moving averages. Just like Chainlink had that same look where it was over top of all the weekly moving averages, Cardano's got the same look, all right? Daily moving averages all bunched up. You had that same move where it went over and sat back on top of the moving averages. I had a former moderator who said moving averages were stupid and blah, blah, blah. What's really interesting is he was cool with it for the first 3 years and then changed. Nonetheless, once again, moving averages prove as a very simple and easy basic indicator that work a ton of times. Now that we got this sitting on top of support, we have a potential breakout scenario. Looks like we got our breakout. We are hitting the 50 fib. I'd like to see us get over that at 80 cents. That 80 cents is going to be a booger. Getting above that opens up 84 cents, call it 85. Above that is Sniper's Alley at 87 to 90 cents. All these targets matter because I think they're all going to get hit. When this breaks out, and it will, 1618 is at $1.13, and the big 618 fib on the weekly is about 115. So call it 113 to 115. I think is where this move logically makes sense to go. It's already been there a bunch of times over here. See that? It's already done it. So I think it's fully plausible that it does it again. On the weekly, RSI has a ton of room to go up. It's been fairly sideways. MACD, you're only just now crossing upward. Excellent. Plenty of room for those to move. Plenty of upside on the chart. If I grab the top of this move from 2024 and I drag it over like this, this shows us November 2025, which is when I think things could slow down a good bit. And this all shows me up here confluence of the 1272, the 1414, and the 1618, lining up with the weekly 786 and 886. That's at about $1.71 to $2.40. From 79 to a 240 is great. That's 200%, but I think this chart's got in it. I doubled my position on Cardano. It's already in profit. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm going to leave this be for now. I think there's good gains in the chart. I think there's good gains in a lot of these charts. Things improve, and I love reporting improvements. When things go bad, I got to prove it and say they're bad. But right now, we'll look pretty darn good, especially with Cardano. What else? All right, I did XLM, I did Cardano. Now I got to do DAG. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Come on, man.
What about DAG? Oh, this is interesting because people will request this one, but they'll tell me not to say that they requested it. I'm not going to say their names, but you know who you are. You're a defector. You won't say it, but you're a defector. And it's interesting because you were one of the same people who were talking bad about me. And I already talked to you about it. And you were like, yeah, I was wrong. And I was like, that's cool, bro. I appreciate you apologizing. It's actually awesome. Doesn't happen very often. So DAG failed the 200, failed the 100, failed the 50. amongst all the green that we've seen today and lately, she's not having it. She's not having it. She's snugged up firmly, pause, against the bottom of that 50 moving average. Not quite good enough yet. 821 EMA is crossing down as well. And this is just on the daily. What about the weekly? What looked to be conviction has only turned into failure. She's bounced right back underneath those moving averages. All these targets that I had lined up right here are now null and void unless she gets back over those moving averages that are all in a group right there at about 4 cents. Once again, that same 4 cent to 5 cent range that I said was going to be hell continues to be hell. For everyone who said I was a hater and I was wrong and I was lying and I was fudding.
Wrong.
I was just telling the truth. Perhaps you've been lied to. So I'd like to see some improvement here. For now, nothing to report. Again, though, we've seen this before where it's came down here and chopped around and then made a very abrupt move. For this thing to move the needle for me, I need you to get back over the 50, 100, and 821 EMA. Then we can talk about it. That would be 4 cents even. That would be a much better improvement than where we're at right now. Getting back to 4 cents gives us an opportunity to attack the 200 moving average, which it hasn't been able to break yet, and gives us an opportunity to get up here in this 6.5 cent range. That's a long haul from now. Ain't quite got there yet, so let's wait and see. All right, S Fund. All right. Here's S Fund, Seed 5 Fund. So for now, this one's been pretty rough. Oh, I've got one more to do after this, XCN, because I forgot it last week. I think TM asked for it. And I'll get you back, brother. I'm sorry that I forgot last time. Over 300 people on X, 20 people on Rumble, 35 on YouTube. Hell yeah, dude. Brother, almost 400 people on a Thursday night is awesome. All right, so 821 cross, that is prevalent right there. Not an 821 cross, EMA cross, but you did jump over the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA on the daily. That's nice. All right, you've got the 50 and the 100 moving average there in the way, as well as the 200 bearing down. Those are going to be a big hurdle. Those are going to be big hurdles. Note that the weekly is still scraping the bottoms. Be very careful here. You could have a double bottom in here, but man, there's a lot of traffic in the way. All right, you need to have a very, very smart and very, very secure stop loss on this one. If you break new lows, you get back underneath that 8 EMA, you break new lows at around 54, 55 cents, things could get really ugly really fast. I would recommend having a stop loss and sliding that stop loss up every day you have green. So let's say your entry was yesterday. So you entered there at the green line. I would set a stop loss underneath the last low, which would be down here. And then every day that the price goes up, I move this stop loss up however much the price went up. All right, so today that just finished was a 6% candle. So I'll take this red line and move it up 6%. So this red line to 6% right there, and bam, that would be my new stop loss. I'd slide it up to there, right? If the price goes up another 9%, well, I measure 9%. Right there. And then I drag this bad girl back up to right there. Now my stop loss is above my entry. I'm guaranteed to win. This is a guaranteed winner. I want everyone to practice this, all right? It's very, very important. If you don't want to set a stop loss, you can set an alert. How do you set an alert? I don't understand. Well, draw a line on the chart. Click settings. You don't even have to do that. You can click this little stopwatch right here. Once you click on something like a line, this little option bar pops up. Click the stopwatch, and you can set an alert, right? Condition, price, crossing, horizontal line, crossing up, horizontal line, crossing down, horizontal line. Once per bar, once per bar, once per bar close. I'll do once per bar close. Then you could do a message that says crossing down and sell dummy. This is your stop loss, right? So create a little watch pops up right there on the chart. If the price crosses below that green line, it tells me, hey dummy, stop loss is hitting. Maybe you should think about selling. That alert will pop up on your phone. It'll send an alert to your email, all which is adjustable underneath the alerts here. You can do that notification right there. Notifying the app, show toast notification, send email, webhook. You can even send a webhook somewhere else off-site to run a bot for you if you'd like. This is basic stuff, basic TradingView 101. I have a whole series of videos in the Discord and on YouTube for basics of YouTube, basics of trading, basics of charting, etc. Please take time to go check it out. It's very, very friendly and very, very easy to use. All right. That was one solid hour of charts. You guys didn't even realize that was an hour. I didn't even realize it was an hour because it went by so darn fast. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate every single one of you who comes on here and hangs out. Having this many people late night and the post 11 p.m. on the East Coast. I understand it's crypto after dark and it's the adult time. We're never going to have the big numbers. On the Tuesday show in the afternoon, which is shorter, we manage about the same amount of viewers. That tells me that I should probably be doing more times earlier, more often. But hey, man, this is when the kids are asleep and the adults are watching. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. We'll have all the same live streams next week. I'm in full live stream and charting mode for the next 8 months, as the wife will be back to work at her new job. And there won't be anybody here except me every single day. I'm going to be extremely bored with the quiet. It's going to kind of suck, honestly. Nonetheless, you guys could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I'll appreciate that. And you never understand how much I appreciate it. It means the world to me. It honestly does. Right? Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. Let's have a better day every single day. And last but not least, please remember, if anybody else told you today, Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. WAP.com/team786. Check us out. 1 free month. What is there to lose? It costs 1 Starbucks coffee plus 1 croissant per month. Oh, that's a ton of money, isn't it? Wrong. It's very cheap.
Wrong.
Thank y'all. I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Tuesday, normal time, 4:20. Thursday, normal time, 11 p.m. Thank y'all. I'm out. Sky's the limit, man. Y'all be good. Peace.